Hey guys, I'm Thomas, and today we're going to be showcasing our Swaybar subframe bushing tool. This will work for any Mark V, Mark VI platform that has the aluminum subframe, as well as CC and TIG1. This tool is super helpful because it allows you to press out and press in new bushings without having to drop the whole subframe and realign the car. So it's a big time saver and money saver. These bushings commonly fail on these cars. It allows the motor to rock back and forth a little bit, and you can feel that in the drive line when you're actually driving the car. But let me show you what the pieces are and how the tool is actually assembled. Okay, so this is the steady bar. This is gonna be the first piece that you're gonna put on the car before you start performing this job. This kind of closes up the window where the Dogbone actually mounts through the subframe at. It allows it to just kind of keep that area flush so that the bushing doesn't try to squeeze through there or get caught on a lip. And then next, when you're gonna be pulling the bushing out, you're gonna be using these three pieces right here and rod B11. So there are two different rods. One is for pulling the bushing out and one is for installing the bushing. So it's gonna kind of assemble something similar to this. So B2 is gonna be the bottom plate that sits on the bottom nut. And then this will have a little window in it so you can see when the bushing is being pulled down. And then this plate B4 is gonna sit right on top of the bushing because that's what's actually going to pull it through. Then when pushing the bushing back in, you're gonna be using rod B1, and then it's gonna mount just like this. And then this plate will be used on the top of the bushing, on the top of the subframe. B10 is gonna be used to align the actual bushing itself to kind of make sure that this window on the bushing stays aligned so that the Dogbone can properly just go slide right through. And then this will be used to kind of cradle the bushing and squeeze it into the subframe hole. Something similar to this. And then these two lines right here are to make sure that you keep it level with the subframe at 90 degrees. So the first step is to obviously get the car on jack stands if you're in a driveway, or if you have the ability to go on a lift, get the car in the air. And then after that, you're gonna wanna remove any skid plate that you have. Some cars are different, so it'll kind of cover up the sway bar end link, since that's the first part that needs to be removed in order to kind of move the sway bar out of the way. Or if you have the ECS skid plate, I know it comes back pretty far to cover the oil pan and protect it, you'll wanna remove that as well. So to remove the end link, you're just gonna remove the lower half of it and then the sway bar bolts so that you can kind of move it out of the way and give yourself some more room to kind of get the tools up in there.
Five minutes later.
What happened?
It snapped.
Because of a sway bar end link.
Yeah. I'm pissed. It's gone now.
Volkswagen, man.
Yeah, you gotta love them. Whenever you're ready.
Round 2, fight.
How did it jump? Is it? Yeah, there you go. Oh, I'm scared to have my hands there. That bitch is for sure gonna break again.
Yeah.
Do we just want to break it? Did it break? Christ.
Yep, broke again.
Approximately 10 hours later.
So what happened, Thomas?
We had to fight with the end links for probably an hour, and then we gave up, and then we just torched them out, and now we have new ones. We have new Miley HD ones that are going to be better than the ones that were on here previously. So we fought with those for a little bit, but now those are out, you can actually go ahead and loosen these two bolts on each side of the subframe, and then that'll give you room to kind of slide the sway bar over. That does not sound great. Look at your brackets. Oh my gosh. I wish I should have grabbed half inch.
Yeah. think it's the what?
The bracket, your actual sway bar bracket.
Probably.
They're just a little crusty.
On to the next.
Ow. I forgot to mention, we also fought to get your wheels off.
Oh yeah, we did. I forgot about that. Listen, that was half an hour ago. I completely forget about it, okay?
It is what it is.
The funs of working on cars.
A northern car too. Yes, even better.
Specifically Ohio.
Salt, baby. So now that these sway bar bolts are actually loose and the brackets are not being held onto the subframe anymore, you can go ahead and slide the the sway bar to the right, just to kind of give it a little bit more room. So now that we have the sway bar undone, we can go ahead and actually remove the Dogbone mount. Just this bolt right here connecting to the subframe, then one to the transmission case and through the Dogbone, and then there's one other one to the transmission case.
What size are those bolts?
This one's a 21, and then these two are 16s. Oh no. There's a breaker bar. You know how many wrenches I've broken on Dogbone mount bolts? Oh, dude. There's been plenty of times where I've been outside baking in the heat, just getting aggravated because the bolt won't come off. Dude.
Starting to feel a lot looser.
No. It's definitely coming out though. Nice 145-pound man behind this.
Got big guy over here.
Okay, if I can't get a ratchet on this, I'm leaving and never coming back.
Oh no.
Oh my God, is it?
Hey, at least you got a ratchet on it.
Yeah. Kind of winded. Might need a snack. What time is it, 2?
3.
3?
3 right now.
And good timing. It'll go back together easier than it came apart, that's for a fact. Usually sometimes usually when people replace these, they'll like cross thread the trans, so then they'll like helicoil it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that the case with that one?
Nah, it looks fine.
Alright.
Out. It's out.
The Dogbone bound is out.
So this steady bar is gonna go on the front of the subframe. You just wanna put this in the actual Dogbone hole that goes through the subframe. There's gonna be 2 little threaded holes right here to kind of mount it into. And then when you mount this on, you just wanna make sure that there's a little bit of tension on it. And there's also gonna be a little tension bar that sits on this side as well. Okay, so we're gonna take rod B11, since that's the rod used to pull the bushing out, and cup B4, and then B3, and then B2. It's gonna be assembled just like this. B2 goes into B3, and then B4 is gonna sit on top of the actual bushing on the top of the subframe. It will kind of sit itself and lock itself in place. And we wanna grease these threads before we actually set it up. Assembly, baby. Hey, if it can run a motor, it can thread a rod. Going blind. So now that we have the tool set up, we're gonna go ahead and keep threading this, and it's going to pull the bushing down past the actual subframe.
So something looks weird there. Looks like it rotated.
Yep. And this looks that looks like baby powder. So we're gonna go ahead and clean this up before we go ahead and put the new bushing in, and we can compare how bad the old bushing was compared to the new one. Dude, that's like salt.
It probably is. It's probably salt from the road.
It could be. I do not want to breathe that in.
No.
I'm never doing this again. After you get the bushing out, you just want to make sure that this brace right here stays flush with this window so that bushing is not getting snagged on anything as it's coming back up. You can adjust it from this tension bar right here on the right that we initially installed. So as long as it's flush and it doesn't have a lip that it can catch on, you're fine. So when assembling the bushing and pushing it back into the subframe, you just want to make sure that this is all clear and this is all clean. It's going to kind of be set up something like this. So you're going to use the rod that's actually used to push the bushing in. B10 to keep the bushing in alignment so it's not moving as it's pushing up. And then you're also going to be using B6 at the top of the subframe, similar to how B4 was set up previously. And then also, obviously, the top nut. And then B5 to make sure that it's aligned. And then as we're setting this up, it's got 2 notches right here to make sure that it's still staying perpendicular to the subframe. Okay, so now that the new bushing is in, you can go ahead and disassemble the front brace that's there and then reassemble the whole car and make sure that you obviously torque everything to factory spec, especially the Dogbone bolts and the Swaybar bolts to the subframe. And during this DIY, you have to remove the end links, and sadly, ours gave us a bunch of issues, so we had to torch these bad boys out. But thank you, Mila, for the new HD end links that we're gonna be throwing on this car. And that kind of wraps up the whole video. So if you guys want to comment, like, and subscribe and follow for more content.